I'm Hunter. Welcome back to Metal Gear Solid. Today we're going to get some more background information about the story. So down below the briefing section we have the extra section, which is very special, and it includes information about previous operations, about Solid Snake, and about FOX-HOUND, and what happened, and what happened before Snake lived in Alaska. So let's look at that. It includes the storylines of Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. There we go. The year 1995, period. Deep in South Africa, 200 kilometers north of Garsberg. I wonder if that's a real place. Outer Heaven, an armed fortress nation established by the legendary mercenary. Who's that? He was feared in combat by both his friends and foes as a hero and a lunatic. All right. The, quote, Western, unquote, nations have found out. They have. Oh, aren't we talking about the year 1995? That a weapon of mass destruction capable of rewriting war history, don't you rewrite war history, is under development at Outer Heaven. It is. They have called upon the high-tech Special Force Unit FOX-HOUND to take care of the situation. They is the so-called, the, quote, Western, unquote, nations. I wonder if South Africa is... No, South Africa's third world. Well, South Africa is kind of in the middle. Sometimes South Africa is the second world, but... Yeah, at various points, South Africa was allied with both the United States and the Soviet Union. Anyway, in response to this order, Big Boss, Commander-in-Chief of FOX-HOUND, sent Gray Fox, the man with the codename Fox, which is given to the best member of the Union. Operation Intrude N313. Okay, so apparently that's what the operation was called. They just tacked that on there. After a few days, his last message being, Metal Gear. Gray Fox was missing in action. The grammar here is not too impressive. Taking the situation seriously, the top men of the, quote, West, unquote, again called for FOX-HOUND. Come on, FOX-HOUND, get it together. Send someone good this time. Big Boss selected Solid Snake, who has just recently joined FOX-HOUND as the agent, and entrusted everything to him, so don't screw it up. Successfully making a solo infiltration to Outer Heaven, which is the fortress... Let's flip back here, in case you forgot. Outer Heaven is the armed fortress nation. Nation may not be the best translation. I'm thinking it's like an armed group. You know, they have their own base. That's kind of what it is. But they say nation, so it's somewhere in between there. Snake got in touch with local resistance members Schneider, Diane, and Jennifer. Is Schneider the first name? Or are we just mixing first and last names now? I don't know. But with their cooperation, those local resistance members, Snake succeeded in rescuing Gray Fox. Gray Fox then laid out the terrifying facts about Metal Gear. Metal Gear was the development name of a nuclear warhead-equipped two-legged walking tank. It can walk through even the roughest terrains that would stop normal tanks. It can conduct local warfare by It can conduct local warfare by itself. I was thinking autonomously, but no. The point is it can overpower an army by itself with unique weapons like its Vulcan cannon and anti-tank missiles. It was indeed a new type of weapon that can conduct a nuclear attack against any place on the face of the earth. But I'm thinking, why would you build a bunch of these? Because if you had multiple Metal Gear tanks on opposing sides, well, at that point, it can't conduct local warfare by itself because one of them presumably is equal to another one of them. So at that point, they would just be regular tanks, right? Anyway, it can conduct a nuclear attack against any place on the face of the earth, from any land, surface. With Metal Gear, Outer Heaven was trying to establish its military superiority over the entire world. In order to destroy Metal Gear, Snake rescued Metal Gear's chief engineer, Dr. Petrovich, all right then, and his daughter Ellen, who was taken hostage to force her father to continue with his development. Snake rescue was taken hostage. So, okay, this is a little unclear. Dr. Petrovich was developing Metal Gear for himself or someone else, but then his daughter Ellen, with one L, was taken hostage to force her father to continue developing Metal Gear for Outer Heaven, I guess. I don't know. This game. Snake hears from Dr. Petrovich how to destroy Metal Gear. First, drop definite article. However, as Snake approached the heart of Outer Heaven and Metal Gear, well-designed traps are set all around Snake. Uh-oh, I hate those well-designed traps, as if all his actions are being leaked to the enemy. In the midst of the escalating battle, the leader of the resistance, Schneider, fell into the hands of the enemy, and Snake himself was injured through the deadly battles with Outer Heaven's best mercenaries. Let me look at that. So he knows how to destroy Metal Gear, but the well-designed traps and, I don't know, some kind of traitor or something, or some kind of bug is portraying all his actions to the enemy, which is pretty bad if this is a stealth-oriented situation. It doesn't sound like stealth is involved, but who knows. But Snake's indomitable spirit lead him to the 100th floor basement of the secret base where Metal Gear was developed. That's a pretty deep base. Apparently this base is underground. This whole nation is underground, in fact. It's not a, quote, Western, unquote, nation, but it's a nation. Well, maybe. Evading the powerful defense system that wipes out all intruders and well-designed traps, Snake ultimately succeeded in destroying Metal Gear. Snake tried to escape from Outer Heaven upon completing the mission. However, during the escape, he was confronted by one man, FOX-HOUND Commander-in-Chief Big Boss. Big Boss laughed at the astounded Snake and told him of the truth about his mission. While serving as the Commander-in-Chief of FOX-HOUND, Big Boss also ran a mercenary dispatch company utilizing his connections in capital from his years as a merc. And now we're just cutting off the ends of words. All right, so not only was Big Boss commanding FOX-HOUND, but he was commanding some other company. He was planning to build this company a larger military establishment, and he built Outer Heaven as its base. Oh, by the way, the mercenary company, it's the one you were just fighting against. Yeah, the one that built Outer Heaven. His purpose for sending the rookie Snake to Outer Heaven was to cause information confusion against the, quote, West, unquote. However, Big Boss miscalculated. He never thought that Snake would make it this far. Having lost Metal Gear, Big Boss activated the self-destruction system of the underground base. Because it's got to have one of those, right? It's got well-designed traps that stop every intruder, and it's also got a self-destruction system. So it's a pretty cool base, to be honest. While the countdown to destruction continued, his scream echoed in the emptiness. All right. You have gone too far! Too far! I don't even know who's screaming. Is it Big Boss or is it Snake? Maybe it's Snake. On the 100th floor basement, the battle between the two men commenced, free of ideology and politics. Oh, well, that's good, I guess. They're going to fight to the death, but at least, politics aren't going to get involved. That would just be nasty. The armed fortress nation, Outer Heaven, collapsed because of the self-destruction thingy. The impenetrable fortress made from the best... Clearly, it's not impenetrable. And clearly, all intruders were not stopped. And those traps may have been well laid, but they didn't work, obviously. The not impenetrable fortress made from the best military technology. and occupied by the toughest mercenaries, burned in flames. Behind him, the flames reached skyward him, as outer heaven fell, leaving Solid Snake all alone. Oh, all alone. So apparently Big Boss was defeated or killed or something because he's alone now? I don't know. No comment? I like that art in the background. On to the story of Metal Gear 2, because apparently something else happened. Yeah, there we go. 1999, the world was facing an energy crisis. That's a great opening. It was obvious, obviously, that the supply of petroleum would run out faster than expected. You think so, don't you? Little did you know that hydraulic fracturing would become a major source of hydrocarbons. However, the development of an alternate energy resource is far from completion. The price of petroleum has skyrocketed and the world economy is in confusion. This is kind of weird. It's talking about 1999 because that's the date that Metal Gear 2 was set in. But at the time that this game was made, it was already 1998. So, yeah, the dates on these events are kind of too aggressive. But anyway, the price of petroleum has skyrocketed and the world economy is in confusion. The 21st century was expected to be one of chaos. Yeah, but not for that reason. One man's invention changed the entire situation. A Czech genius and biologist, Dr. Kio Marv, invented Oilix, a microorganism that refines petroleum to produce a highly purified form of petroleum. There was an episode of Archer with that storyline. A guy invented basically that, organic oil, and the U.S. government in that particular episode stole his invention because they said, "Oh no, can you imagine what would happen if all the Middle East nations collapsed or something because they couldn't sell oil?" It was kind of stupid, but it's one of those storylines where you got to reset the. They reset everything to how it was at the beginning of the episode. What's the name for that? I don't know if there is a name, but there must be a name for that. The world was filled with hope upon the discovery of this messiah to solve the energy crisis, but at the same time, the world entered a time of tension regarding this new algae. That's a great sentence. Yes, it was a time of tension regarding this new algae. Just when the whole world's attention was drawn to Oilix and Dr. Marv, he was abducted by someone and disappeared. Damn you, someone! Nations began investigations immediately, and a name soon appeared. Zanzibar Land. Zanzibar Land was a democratic military regime that suddenly appeared in Central Asia in 1997, and is nowhere near Zanzibar, apparently. When their uprising took place, the CIS army formed around Russia. Okay, wait, did I miss something? CIS, I don't know. I have no idea what that means. Formed around Russia, sent a suppressive unit immediately. Zanzibar Land resisted by gathering a band of mercenaries from nations around the world and fortifying most of its land. Does this sound familiar to you? This sounds a lot like Outer Heaven to me. Remember Outer Heaven in South Africa? Zanzibar Land. Ooh. As a result, the CIS army was repeatedly defeated and Zanzibar Land declared its independence. Due to maybe it's like Tajikistan or something, due to the active role mercenaries played, this war was called the Mercenary War. And Zanzibar Land was referred to as an armed fortress nation. Exactly the same as Outer Heaven. That's like the same storyline or something, except for the Oilix thing. A military nation with a group of strong mercenaries. Yeah, that too. Surrounded by a tough fortress. Is it underground, maybe? Does it have 100 floors underground? According to the latest information, Zanzibar, supposedly, you mean Zanzibar Land, completely different place, supposedly was armed with nuclear weapons. The whole scenario was crystal clear. It was? Are you sure about that? By obtaining oilex in addition to nuclear weapons, Zanzibarland was trying to establish its economic and military superiority over the entire world. Jeez, you even use the same sentences in this storyline. Metal Gear 2, it happened again. Concerned about the situation, the United States and other, quote, Western, unquote, nations ordered Roy Campbell, Commander-in-Chief of Special Forces Unit FOX-HOUND, so Campbell, we know Campbell, to rescue Dr. Marv. Campbell was a former member of FOX-HOUND, but now he's not a member, he's Commander-in-Chief. Alrighty then. He brought back Solid Snake, the man who single-handedly brought down the armed fortress nation of Outer Heaven 4 years ago. Speaking of which, we got to do something about these armed fortress nations. They're getting a little out of control. He asked Snake to bring back both Dr. Marv and Oilex. What about Ellen? Is she getting rescued? Do you remember Ellen? Successfully infiltrating Zanzibarland, and with the help of CIA agent Hori and others, alright, new character, Snake was able to go deep into the fortress and meet again with Dr. Petrovich, the chief engineer. By the way, his name is like really, he has a really apt name for someone who invents something related to oil. Dr. Petrovich. He's the chief engineer of Metal Gear at Outer Heaven. He was. He too was abducted to Zanzibarland and was forced to develop another Metal Gear. Not again! Was Ellen the last game or this game? Now I'm confused. I'm so confused. Let me look. I just want to make sure. Keo Marv. Keo Marv. Okay, Marv invented Oilex. Marv was abducted by someone. Alright, so Ellen was rescued, I guess. Or maybe she died in Outer Heaven. Who cares, right? Alright. So, Snake went deep into the fortress and met again with Dr. Petrovich, who was there for some reason. He was the chief engineer of Metal Gear at Outer Heaven. He too was abducted to Zanzibarland. Okay, he's there because he was abducted too by someone and was forced to develop another Metal Gear. He told the surprised Snake of an even more shocking fact. Big Boss, the man Snake had defeated at Outer Heaven, turned out to be the general commander of Zanzibarland. Well, it seemed pretty obvious. I mean, they kind of did the exact same thing at Zanzibarland as they did at Outer Heaven. Seems like he would have been involved, even though, you know, defeated. Presumably, he should have been dead, but no. He just moved and did it all over again in Central Asia a couple years later. Snake rescued Dr. Petrovich again in cooperation with Natasha, Dr. Marv's guard and former Czech international secret police agent. All right, then. Natasha. Oh, is she one of the guys? Is she the one who's advising us through our info link thing? Doesn't she? And then headed for the confinement facility deep in the fortress to save Dr. Marv. When Petrovich and Natasha crossed the narrow suspension bridge over the deep valley, this is just making me think of No One Lives Forever 2. There's a volcano or something like that. Isn't there? Or is that No One Lives Forever? I don't remember now. I think it's the second game, but I'm not sure. Anyway, narrow suspension bridge over the deep valley, which may or may not have lava in it, because, you know, why not? A missile blew the bridge away. Damn missiles. Natasha flew into the air because of the explosion. Natasha, the international Czech secret police agent? While unable to do anything to save Natasha, Snake started hearing a well-known voice. Hey, Snake, we are good buddies. I can let you go. Just leave this place at once. Gray Fox. Snake saw Gray Fox controlling Metal Gear. Damn it, Metal Gear again? Gray Fox, come on. What's your problem, man? The best soldier in FOX-HOUND who, after the fall of Outer Heaven, disappeared as if he followed Big Boss. Okay, what happened to the rest of that sentence? I guess we're talking about Gray Fox, who was the best soldier in FOX-HOUND, with the exception of Snake, because Gray Fox failed or something. Or maybe Gray Fox didn't fail when he got to Outer Heaven. Maybe he was convinced to go over to the evil Big Boss. You know, they convinced him. They bribed him or whatever. Anyway, he didn't destroy Metal Gear like he was supposed to for the, quote, Western, unquote, nations. Losing Natasha in front of his eyes and letting Petrovich get taken away, Snake screamed, "Fox, I will not give up!" After a series of deadly battles with mercenaries, Snake finally made it to Dr. Marv's confinement facility, because he has a confinement facility now. However, he arrived too late. What happened to Metal Gear? He lost Natasha. Petrovich was taken away somewhere by someone. All right. So anyway, something happened with Metal Gear, and there were deadly battles with mercenaries. We're just sort of compressing the story a little bit here. However, he arrived too late. He saw Dr. Marv's corpse. Ooh. And Petrovich, who could do nothing but just stand there. Yeah, I can imagine that perfectly. He's just standing there in a lab coat. Petrovich told Snake that Dr. Marv could not withstand the repeated tortures because of heart problems. Okay, why are there tortures? Repeated ones, even. I guess Dr. Marv should have been a little bit more cooperative. Then maybe there wouldn't have been repeated tortures that he could not withstand because of heart problems. That'll teach you, Dr. Marv. Snake then received an emergency call from Hori, who I don't even remember. Who is he? He's the CIA agent, I think. She's a CIA agent. Okay. Agent Hori. The information she supplied was very shocking. I am very shocked. I am. Petrovich had been voluntarily visiting Zanzibar land to develop Metal Gear. Petrovich, you bastard! Come on, you're in on it too? The abduction of Dr. Marv was conducted under the directions of Petrovich himself. After the truth came out, Petrovich attacked Snake, but Snake easily put an end to him because he's just some scientist guy, right? And obtained the structural plan of Oilix. Yeah, you should have thought about that before meeting with Snake, huh, Petrovich? You thought this was going to work out for you, didn't you? While trying to escape, Snake was confronted by Metal Gear again, controlled by Gray Fox. The tremendous battle took place in the underground base, and there were probably difficult battles with mercenaries too, if I know anything about this situation. Snake finally succeeded in destroying Metal Gear. However, Gray Fox did not submit and challenged Snake to the final battle. In the midst of a minefield, because why not, Snake and Fox fought without any weapons. A fist-to-fist duel involving no hatred, no politics, no ideologies, or murder intent. None of that, okay? Just a clean fight. People. Just a clean fight. During that weird moment of purity, the two were bound by forces transcending words and emotion. Like fists? Yeah, fists. Fist-to-fist duel. That is such a sentence. During that weird moment of purity, the two were bound by forces transcending words and emotion. This is an awesome story, if you know what I mean. Snake won the tough but pure battle against Gray Fox. Well, at least it was pure. I mean, come on. Battles these days. However, there was still someone else Snake had to fight. Big Boss. Okay, wait a second. What about the final battle? We just had the final battle. Was it the final battle with Gray Fox? How do we know? Is Gray Fox dead, or is there going to be another battle? Come on. Get a load of this story. So anyway, even though the battle was pure, there was someone else to fight, Big Boss. Just like 4 years ago at Outer Heaven, Big Boss was waiting for Snake. One who has experienced the tension of battle can never leave the battlefield. I am the one giving you something to live for, and that is war. Oh, that's like that line from Batman where the Joker says, I complete you, I give you a purpose by engaging in the crime that I engage in, and then you have a purpose, the balance that, we balance each other out. You're the good side, I'm the bad side, and we give each other a purpose. That's a weird, stupid storyline. Anyway, Snake was infuriated at the arrogant Big Boss. Yeah, that is pretty arrogant. I agree with that. There is only one battle I have to fight, to free myself from you, to shatter the nightmare. Big Boss, I will kill you. No more fortified fortress nations. No more of that. With the structural plan of Oilix, Snake and Hori escaped from Zanzibar land on a rescue helicopter. Snake once again saved the world. Wait a second. Was the fight between Big Boss, assuming there was a fight, because it doesn't say here, was this fight between Snake and Big Boss pure? Or was it tainted by politics and ideology? I don't know. It doesn't say. It's bothering me. Anyway, Snake, Hori, and no one else escaped from Zanzibar land. Snake once again saved the world. However, there was no smile on his face. Big Boss's last words kept ringing in Snake's head. Whoever wins, our battle does not end. The loser is freed from the battlefield, but the winner must remain there. And the survivor must live his life as a warrior until he dies. Huh. So what? They're going to send assassins after him or something? What does that mean? That kind of reminds me of the Hashishin from Krondor. But that's a different game. Snake then disappeared into the white lands of Alaska alone. Alright, so that was kind of a little bit odd, but alright. Now that's good. That explains, sort of, what happened. So Big Boss kept... Basically, he's a leader of a terrorist organization. That word does not occur here. It occurs in this game, Metal Gear Solid, but it doesn't appear in the summaries of the first two games. So Big Boss is running his organization, and now his men are just sort of doing his thing. Big Boss is probably dead, who knows? But his men are, off up to their hijinks again, and they want a DNA sample of Big Boss, and it's just no good, so we can't let that happen.